And our fifth main topic today gets submitted to us by The One. And The One writes, I had to shake my head and look again when I saw a story that said Netflix lost over $50 billion in one day and that it could get much worse. Is this something Netflix can recover from? Should the other streaming services be worried at this point? What can Netflix do to turn this around? And that once again comes to us from The One. Thanks a lot for writing that, man. And yeah, look, obviously we talked yesterday on the show about how overnight Netflix loss, it was 25%. 25% of their stock value disappeared overnight. And then it got worse. Then it hit something like 27%. Then it hit 30%. And I think it ended up being about 35%. According to the reports that we got, Netflix lost 35% of their value, their biggest fall since 2004, and lost $54 billion in valuation. $54 billion. Nearly the amount that Disney spent on buying Fox. Netflix lost that overnight. And it could get much, much worse. This comes to us from the folks over at MarketWatch, who write the following. Netflix Incorporated shares, NFLX, minus 2.69% for the day, slid another 4% pre-market on Thursday, that's today, continuing the rout that was sparked by its weaker than expected first quarter earnings that showed it's losing subscribers for the first time since its infancy, and a forecast for a loss of 2 million more subscribers in the current quarter. The stock slid 35.1% Wednesday to mark its steepest single-day percentage decline since it fell a record 40.9% on October 15th of 2004. Netflix avoided closing with a market share below $100 billion, but it still shed a stunning $54.3 billion in market capitalization on the day. According to Dow Jones market data, David Traynor, CEO of New Construct, says that the stock, get this, could fall another 50%. It could fall another 50%. Now, there are a couple things we should keep in mind, though. Is Netflix doomed? I want to remind everybody about something. Netflix still has over 200 million subscribers worldwide. Their monthly revenue, not profit, but revenue, their monthly revenue is in excess of $3 billion a month. A lot of that is eaten up by expenses. But still, when you are a company that generates $3 billion in revenue a month, you've got options. You're okay. For now, you're okay. That is not meant to try to sugarcoat just how bad this is and just how much this hurt. $54 billion in valuation gone overnight, 35% stock drop, and some of their analysts saying this could drop another 50%. And Rob, it might have either been you or Aaron yesterday, I can't remember, who pointed out that when you're an Apple or you're an Amazon or you're a Disney, you have a lot of other things to fall back up on and absorb those kind of losses when things like that happen. Because you have many other outlets to your business. Amazon makes its billions not from Amazon Prime. They make their billions from just being Amazon. Apple makes their billions from their hardware and their software. Disney makes their billions from parks and travel, and their studios and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, hey, listen, if Disney Plus suffers for a bit, Netflix hasn't got anything else. They are Netflix, and that is it. And when that hurts, they got nothing else to back them up with.
They got Netflix games coming,
They do have Netflix games, which a lot of people are excited about. A lot of people are excited about. I've read a lot of people excited about it. And I've also read some skepticism from people online about it. But there's a lot of potential there if you're a Netflix, because you've mastered this entire format of stuff, right? So if you can bring games into that loop, you could be something special. But we'll see how that all pans out. But, Rob, I don't think it's an over-exaggeration to say this is tragic for Netflix. This is cataclysmic. Because when the drop happened yesterday, I half thought that You know what, though? Overnight, we could see that. We've seen other big stocks rebound really quickly, but this morning they didn't. And they're now forecasting maybe even bigger losses. Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. You know, the one with the delightful ads with good Canadian kid Ryan Reynolds. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, that's no joke, because for years I've been using one of the major providers and it was fine. But I switched over to Mint Mobile a little while ago. The service has been fantastic. And the big difference is I'm now paying about 1/3 of what I was paying before. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. So Rob, let me throw the question over to you. How big of a deal is this for Netflix? And is this something they can recover from quickly? Is it something, or is this just the beginning? I don't know. What do you think about this?
Look, first of all, I would like to qualify my statements by saying I am by no means an economic expert at all. But I would, and that said, I would say I don't think ultimately in the history of Netflix this will be an interesting footnote. Because here's the thing, John, there's only a finite amount of people on this planet. There's only a finite amount of households that are going to have access to streaming services in the first place. So at some point, and why they don't think about it in these kind of terms, it's going to be like the newspaper business. Eventually, the newspapers in a certain town, there are no more people that are going to subscribe to that newspaper because they've all done so. All the people that want to subscribe, people move, but for the most part, the subscription base, that's what they got. That's what's there. Eventually, all the streamers are going to have this. There's only the same pool of people streaming shows. So all streaming services are going to hemorrhage people. They're going to churn and burn. People are going to leave for a while. They're going to come back. But for the most part, you're going to have a stability there of people that are going to have these streaming services based on the economic factors. We've got a lot of inflation. It's not surprising, especially they lost a lot of viewers in the UK, where they're particularly hard hit by all of these prices. So I think eventually what these streamers have to do is not worry about massive growth. What you're going to have to do is figure out a way to become stable in terms of how much money you're going to spend based on your get. Like you said, John, $3 billion a month. That's a pretty nice check cash flow right there. What they're going to have to do is not spend 100 to 150% of their income on new programming. They're going to have to bring it down and figure out how to spend 30 to 50% of their income and stabilize that. And when they have gaming, they'll have microtransactions in the game. John, they're going to add, I hate to say it, they're going to add lower tiers with ads. They're going to do it. It's going to happen. And then you're going to be more of a basic cable network and things are going to change around. And I will always subscribe to Netflix at the higher tier. I don't think the sky is falling here yet. I think this was a correction that was going to happen, and they're going to weather this storm, and it's going to be fine. And their stock price, I don't know where it closed. I don't think the market's closed yet, but we'll see where it goes. I think for the time being, this is a little rough, but I'll tell you this. If I had a lot of disposable income, if I hadn't just got into the housing market, I would invest in Netflix.
So right now, I just brought up on screen here our look at Netflix stock. For like less than 48 hours ago, it was at $348. Now, as of this moment, it's $215.
Bro, I'd buy some.
Now, it should also be noted that a couple of the bigger, higher profile billionaires who are like big stock investors just dumped all of their Netflix stock. They decided they didn't see a future in it. Some people in the industry are saying this is a reflection of the fact that Netflix has always been overvalued. They're seeing that this might be seen as a market correction, that maybe we're seeing not maybe a big free fall, but rather a market correction. Like maybe they realize, okay, Netflix with all of its whatever, it's not actually worth $155 billion. It's worth
Plus
this much.
They're going into new markets. Like if they were to go into China, they're not in China. If they were to go into China somehow and the Chinese Communist government would let them in, there's another big growth factor. But the fact is Netflix can only grow to a certain point, and then there's no more growth to be had, just like a newspaper. What they have to do is figure out how to maximize profits by spending less money on content and make revenue elsewhere and stabilize their business. Growth will end, and this is going to happen. I mean, it's not like Netflix makes something like a plane or a train that had a catastrophic failure and fell out of the sky or derailed. They haven't done anything different. Netflix is still doing exactly what they did a week ago. So this whole thing, it's all part of market forces and earnings and whatever, but eventually this was going to happen.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about the Netflix drop? $54 billion they lost overnight. It seems to be steadying out right now. Like, I mean, it hasn't recovered at all, but at least it doesn't seem to be dropping anymore at the moment. But some analysts are saying it could drop another 50%. What do you guys think about that? What do you think the causes are? Do you think does it shake you as a Netflix subscriber? Does it make you want to not subscribe or anything? I'm a very happy Netflix subscriber myself, but whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.